Good morning, and thank you very much for joining me this morning. We have a very special project here today. As you can see, the McLaren Speedtail. This is a beautiful, beautiful design and model with a lot of interesting design features. I've chosen this one because A, this is just a stunning car, and B, this one is going to be quite complex here because they've used textures here. So it'll be interesting to see how I will go about capturing some of that, because we obviously want to keep some of that. When you look at the top view like this, if you cut it here and here, we could continue that on the top, which I think we should do. So let's do. So let's begin, as always, making sure the front axis is on Y0, which is there. So let's go right ahead, duplicate this collection, move that to the top, isolate the front collection there. Let's have a little window down here so we can see the progress at all times in context. There we go. Let's turn off on here statistics and extras. Actually, this one is overlays, isn't it? So we can keep that on in, where was it? We can keep statistics and extras on, but we can just turn them off in there. And then let's make sure we're using the scene and scene world and scene lights. And let's just add another 3D viewport in here in case we need to see two viewports, which we often will do. So let's turn off the grid. Let's select a piece, select all, go to edit mode. I've just noticed that the ground plane is selected. Let's make that this disabled selection. Select a piece, select all, go to edit mode, make sure nothing's hidden, go to X-ray mode, select deselect. Now let's select a chunk out the middle. Let's delete, select the back. Let's make sure that we've got, let's right click on there. Let's deselect, and then let's make sure merge auto is turned off. Select that, deselect. Let's select that back, move it into a new collection. Let's call that RR, which stands of course for rear. Isolate the rear, select the face of that tire, select all. Let's go to tries to quads. That's done a pretty good job. So we've got a couple of these little triangles, but it looks like that inner circle is how it should be, and we can just check that. So let's make sure there's no camber. There is camber on there as well. Okay, so what we'll do, just to see, if we go to loop tools and then circle, and we apply it and then undo it and then redo it, we can see that there is no change, which means that that is a perfect circle. Right, so now let's move cursor to selected. Cursor to selected. Oops. Cursor to selected. Now let's move our origin to 3D cursor. Let's select, actually before we do that, let's bring everything back up. Select all and clear all parenting. Then let's isolate this again. Let's select that, the face of the tire, select all, then parent everything to that tire. Wait a little while it does that. And then meanwhile, maybe have a sip of water. Excuse me. And then let's go into this collection, expand it. Let's change that to 0. And then we can have a quick look at the differences. Okay, so the rear wheel arch and the wheel actually is a lot bigger than the front. The center of the rear wheel is higher up as well. So what we could do is move them down, I think, but let's not do that just yet. With the front selected, let's just delete the bits that we don't need. So that's all of this stuff, all of this stuff here. Let's delete all of this. That's the interior stuff. Delete this, delete this, delete the upper part of that. Let's delete this stuff up here and this stuff. And actually, while we've got this selected, we can certainly delete the doors. Or let's just select all. Let's go to bisect. Change these to 0. Change these to 0. Change this to 1. And then clear outer. Then also, while we're here, what we could do is let's select all the floaty bits, such as the badge, the parking sensors. Okay, that was not going to let me L those, is it? Okay, so I'm just pressing L continuously as I'm hovering over these. And let's do the same here. Oh, okay, so let's let me do that in one. Do the same thing here. And we're just going to do the tapping as we hover over these. There we go. And let's separate those. Right, and now let's isolate this. We're going to quickly select that half and delete. And let's leave that for now. Let's quickly put the mirror modifier on that and then put the clipping on. Okay, and then let's have a look at those in context. Okay, now with the back, what we're going to do to start is we're just going to nudge that down. If we match the bottom of the wheel arch, I think the back will be, actually let's do a before and after. So that's if we just lower it to match the bottom of the wheel arch, and that's before. So we don't really want the bottom to be too low. It's going to look like it's dragging a bit. However, is it? Right. Okay, what we do know that we are definitely going to do is select that. Let's clear parenting. Let's just get rid of the bits that we definitely won't need. So that's those. And then, we might need the rest of that, to be honest. Let's isolate this and just chop this. So select all, go to bisect. Let's go straight down. Change these to 0, and this one to 1. Clear inner. Okay. And all right, let's also get rid of the wheels. So let's select everything but the wheels. Actually, let's go back. Is there any parenting on that front one? I don't think there is, was there? Okay, so let's just unparent everything just in case. Isolate this collection. Select everything but the wheels, plural. Hide those, hide those. Let's grab this one and this one. Can we add symmetry to that and just use one? I think so. So let's just delete that one. Let's grab that one, put it into a new collection, call it front wheel. And then let's just quickly hide the front wheel. Let's move that up. Let's turn on our statistics. So there is something here. And what's that? Is that something to do with the wheel? Are they just rogue, or do we need those little bits, whatever they are? Shall I just go rogue and delete them? Let's have a look. Let's turn the wheel back on. So it looks, oh, it's hidden behind there anyway. Let's just delete. So there are 675 objects selected. So if we delete that, it's going to drastically reduce the file. And we've got a load of rogue stuff back here. So let's delete those. Let's delete these. And every time I swipe along here, that it selects more stuff. So there is a lot of rogue stuff. What's this? Let's delete that. Delete that. This is a very, very detailed model. And let's do the same thing for the rear. So let's select everything but the rear wheels. So the wheels are different from front to back. So we'll keep this one for now. But I think we'll keep the front wheel. Or we could keep one of each, maybe. That's rear wheel. Rear wheel there like that. Let's just turn that one off. Let's put, okay, there we go. Let's see how we're looking. So let's turn, oh, we didn't get rid of our rogue bits. So if we go isolate rear, select all, and delete. And then let's turn everything back on. Okay, so, okay, let's have a look. So we could, so here are our options. We could either grab the rear and just slide it down in Z. Actually, why don't we just do them all and see which one looks best. So let's duplicate that. Right, so this is rear, this is rear start. This is rear slid. Let's just call it down in Z. And then this one here will be rear scaled. So let's have a look. Let's turn these off for now. Let's grab this one. And then let's just move that one down in Z. So we're just looking at the side view for now because it will need, oh, the width is pretty close actually, so that's good. And then let's have a look if we were to scale it down. So those bits are part of the front. Let's delete those and these bits. And then let's put our 3D cursor somewhere there at the bottom of the carriage. And then let's make sure pivot is at 3D cursor. And then we're going to scale this one and see how that looks. So select all, scale in Z. So this is what it will do. Rear scaled, and then scale down a little bit more like this. So that's how it'd look if it was scaled. And actually nothing. Yeah, we don't like that. We don't like it scaled, do we? No. but moving it down doesn't look that bad either. So let's just have a look with the wheels as well. So let's select edge, let's put cursor to selected, then let's create an empty. Let's move that empty to the scene collection, and let's call that scalar, and then let's move that to x0 and y0. Then let's move the cursor to selected, let's select all, let's move origin to 3D cursor, let's select a part of that tire there, let's add a mirror modifier to it, and then let's mirror it around the scalar. Now let's select all, and then let's copy modifiers. Did we have something rogue over there? Yes, we did. And let's not forget to save. Always remember to save. Very, very important. Then let's bring these back in again. And then let's just have a quick look at the rears. So actually we can do this and observe all the different viewports and see which one we think will be the most successful. So let's quickly delete those. So this is start, this is scaled down, and sorry, this one is moved down and this one is scaled down. So scaled down, moved down. So I think scaling it is not an option. We don't really like those proportions. And then in terms of moving it down, actually, I thought it would look like it's dragging on the bottom, but I think if anything, it looks better. So I think we've got the answer there. That's very, very exciting news. And let's have a look at sort of up here. Obviously this is going to look, yeah, I mean it's looking complete there, and then let's look higher. So yeah, let's just move it down. Let's have another look at comparing scaling. I just don't think we need to scale it. Yeah, we don't need to scale it, I don't think. Look at these exhaust pipes, or the exhaust finishers. How cool is that? Right, okay, and let's just, are we sure that we don't want to scale it? So this will be a good time to actually go and have a cup of tea or something, or coffee, and then come back to it and then decide which option is best. And in fact, what we'll do at this point, I think we might pause the video and let's get some of your opinions. Which one do you think we should go for? Scaled down or just moved down? So this is scaled down and this one is moved down. Scaled, moved. Scaled, moved. Scaled, moved. I'll leave you with that, and let's continue this a little bit later on today. So as always, thank you very much for joining me, and yeah, I'll see you later on.